Hey everyone, Johnny checking in before we continue. Crow King Mike will be getting to the beginning of chapter 3, which is titled Everybody Was Cat Fu Fighting. Apologies in advance for my voice. Got a bit of a congestion going on. The cold weather does that to me. And the story and the places that the story goes afterward in part 3, Tengu Princess Ukiyo, which is about all three of Mike and Kurama's children, actually, not just Ukiyo. It touches on a lot of things. It's so much more than just a parody of harem anime and related stories. And it's so much more than a story about a man who is rather like myself, but is definitely not a self-insertion. I want to make that clear. I'm not joking at all. Mike Marshall is not Scribbler Johnny. No, I wrote a different book that was about me. That was the one that I wrote for myself. And then, because I have too much damned integrity, the story ended up being more than just that as well. And so I decided that that one needed to be shared too, and it will be in time. That's my Idol Singer Uncle Scott series, which is currently a trilogy of completed manuscripts that I wrote while I was in prison. And it's got a fourth novel that is yet unfinished, just as the Crow Dynasty has a fourth as yet unfinished novel. And I do intend to get back to writing those at some point, but first I have to get all my prison manuscripts put here on YouTube so that at least someone can enjoy them no matter what happens to me. And on that cheery note, let's go ahead and resume the story. Crow King Mike. Mike picked up his shirt, searching his memory for what he had done to make Sylvia go away so suddenly. The Nekojin girl began jogging, but kept looking at him. "What is it?" he asked. "Just enjoying the view," she said. Mike pulled his shirt back on. "My mom doesn't own you, you know. You can date me," Kylie said. "You're too young, Kylie," he said, and he put the medicine ball away. "I'm not. I'm a yokai, and I'm old enough to do whatever I want. I could do you, and you wouldn't stop me." Mike's eyes flashed golden. "Never try, girl. Nobody forces me. With magic or anything else. I said no!" She staggered back, her eyes wide. "That hurt me, Mike," she said, holding her chest, her cat ears flat against her head. His eyes were the usual brown again. "I'm sorry, Kylie," he said, and he reached out to help her. "Why did you get so mad? I was just being sexy." "I'm sorry, but nobody forces me. I won't let any woman have me when I tell her no. I've had bad experiences." "Who hurt you, Mike?" "It's not like that." "I saw inside you when your eyes turned gold. A woman hurt you," Kylie said. "Kurama hurt me a few times. It's in the past now," Mike said, looking away. He turned away. Mike, I'll never hurt you, she insisted. Kylie, stop this. I'm not a plaything. I only do it for love. Liar! You fuck everyone Kurama tells you to. You think word doesn't get around? Why aren't I good enough? I'm not for you, girl. Get back to your jog. Mike left her there. Why did people keep throwing it in his face? He wasn't a gigolo. They got paid. He was something worse. What did they call him behind his back? The Bed King? The Whore King? The Dick of Crow kind? He ran to the attic, choking on his bile and shame. A teen cat girl had turned his beautiful, loving life into vile debauchery in minutes. He hid his face in his pillow. Tybalt quietly padded barefoot into his room, and he purred. I'm here if you want to talk, Tybalt said. I saw you running, and I saw your pain. Kylie treated me like she could fuck me at will. I told her no, and she all but called me a whore. Tybalt hissed. That girl, he replied. She's not wrong, Ty. I'll fuck any woman if she says she loves me. Or if I've been given a good cause for it, Mike said. Mike, you aren't a gigolo or a Casanova. You're a man who loves unselfishly and freely. Your heart is open and gentle. So what if you've used your dick for diplomacy? Everybody goes away happy. What's the harm? But, Ty, I'm a king now. I'm not a vassal anymore. You know the best part about being a king? You can be whatever the bloody hell you want to be because you're a fucking king. Mike wiped his eyes. Now, I'm going to have a chat with my daughter. By your leave, King Mike, Tybalt said. You may go, King Tybalt, Mike said, with a brittle smile on his face. If you need to, go ahead and let loose those tears I see behind that smile. But never let me catch you allowing a foolish girl to tell you who you're allowed to fuck and what you should be ashamed of. Tybalt left him then. He dried his eyes and pulled out his tiger claw. It fit in the palm of his hand, with 4 claws curving out in the same places as his fingers. He took a few experimental swipes, but he felt awkward and clumsy. He stood up and tried again. It's a wrist, Mike. Move your wrist into the swing, Madame Borgia said from the shadows. He tried again, and it felt better. It's not a sword. It's a paw. It's your paw, the feline said. How do you know how to use this? Mike asked. My husband, she replied dismissively. That only raises more questions. Who was he? He was a Nekogen assassin, King Tybalt's baby brother. He died in a swamp. How? He drowned in muck. Nobody's fault, really. So he took cat shape to be with you? Yes, he became a cat permanently. For me. Damn, madame, you're a remarkable cat. I flatter myself to agree with you, King Mike, she replied. Excuse me, I hear something interesting. She ran away. Kylie came up to the attic. She'd been crying. "I'm sorry for what I said, King Mike," she said. "I was in a mood, and you rejected me, and I'm really sorry." Mike set down his tiger claw. "Bring it in, sweetie," he said, waving her in for a hug. "I forgive you, but I hope we never have a talk like that again. I'm not for you, okay? You've got that Cyclops boyfriend, and I have a wife. A bitch of a wife," she agreed, grinning. "Oh, you've heard? Yeah, she can be cruel, but she's mine," he said with a smile of his own. "Friends?" he asked. "Friends," she agreed, and then she shook his hand. "I thought we were huggy friends," Mike said. "I wanted to shake the Crow King's hand, all right?" she asked. "But you've already hugged the Crow King." "Yeah. Give me a good night kiss?" Kylie asked. "Nope. You're not getting a kiss out of me tonight, girlie." "I'll get one eventually." She blinked and then left him. He sat down on his bed. He checked his phone. Shizu was doing fine. Joe was fine. Fushin missed him. Hildy was going to give him a bad dream. Mei loved him. Kurama's book was going well. Abeha wanted him to visit. He replied to the text messages with his love, except in Abeha's case, which he instead gave an apology and an explanation that he was King Tybalt's guest for the foreseeable future. He didn't bother wondering how the queen bee had gotten his number. But he felt good again. The house quieted down and darkened too. He heard heavy footsteps on the stairs. It was Sylvia, and she softly sang the words of Lady Redlight to him, leaning against the wall, wearing a lacy nightgown. "Hi, Sylvie," he said softly. "Hi, Mike," she said. "We didn't shower after our workout. The kids are in bed. Ty's visiting a friend." "What can I do for you?" Mike asked. "I'd like to shower with you and sleep with you in my bed." "Is that all?" "Yes, Mike. We have time for that later. I promise." "So you do want to make love, right?" "Yes, but I'm not in a hurry. I want to savor my time with you. When we make love, it will be so sweet. Our hearts are the same kind. Will you be patient with me?" "I don't know how to wait." "I'll help you. Come on." And so, for the first time in his life, he showered with a woman who loved him, without any sex, and he slept with her without sex too. She let him kiss her and cuddle, but that was all. They kept their pajamas on and slept. When Hildy's nightmare woke him up, Sylvia was there to comfort him. It was an altogether new experience. She almost cradled him. There was something when they touched. Not electricity, not fire, not ice. It was as if they were the same flesh, or two pieces of a puzzle fitting together. Sylvia kissed his forehead. "Sleep, my darling. I will be here when you wake." She was. When Mike woke again, he found two sets of arms around him. Tybalt was spooning him. Mike was not comfortable with another man's junk so near his butt, but it was Tybalt's bed, and his wife, too. He scooted his hips closer to Sylvia, who threw a leg around him and pulled him even closer and trapped him. Now what could he do? Tybalt purred. I'm awake now, Mike said. We know, Tybalt said. Go back to sleep before the kids come pester us. Mike tried, but he was wide awake. Sylvia sleepily sang some love song to him, and he was soon out again. The queen of catkind high-fived her husband, and soon they were asleep along with their human friend. When Mike woke up again, he smelled teriyaki beef jerky, and something was poking his lips. Sylvia was offering him some of his jerky. Come on, darling, chompy chompy, she said. He opened his mouth and began to chew. I hid this stuff, he said with his mouth full. Please, I'm a mother. I can find anything in my house. Yes, Sylvie. He sat up. Where's Ty? He asked. He's setting up the obstacle course. If someone plays the theme song from American Gladiators, can I slap them? No, not even after you climbed the cargo net. I was a soldier. You think I haven't done this crap? Not like this, Mike. Be a good boy and do it with no complaining. Did we really not have sex? He asked. We really did not. Why? Aren't we in love? Wasn't it nice to be together for the simple pleasure of being together? Yes, but I'm not used to that. I know. I'm going to love you like no woman ever has before. But we will do it, right? Yes, Mike. But when we do it, it will be a culmination. We are going like a volcano, baby. Tonight, we'll talk. Lots and lots of talk. What? Volcanoes talking? Build up, darling. Build and build. Then boom! And boom! And then the hot lava pouring down the mountain. She ran her fingers down his chest to illustrate the point. In this metaphor, the lava is our seminal fluids, she said. I guessed as much, Mike replied with a chuckle. But when, darling? When? Don't you want us to really get to know each other? Yes, but sex doesn't prevent that. No, it doesn't. But I want you to love me how you've never loved a woman before, too. I want us to be unique, simply because our connection is so strong. We can only have our first time together once. I'm going to ensure the memory lasts for the rest of your life. In 70 years, when I'm dead, I want you jerking off to that memory. And that way, I'll be with you for the rest of your life. I mean that much to you? Mike, has any woman touched your heart the way I do? No, no man has touched my heart that way either. That's why I told you I wouldn't fuck you the night we met. That's why I teased you so mercilessly. I knew immediately that you and I were something rare. She kissed him then. Do you think I don't want it as bad as you? Mike, we have a. We're. You and I. We're the same flesh, Mike said. She kissed him. You spoke my heart's words. Holding you is like coming home. When you sucked on my nipples, I wanted more milk just for you. Yours alone. Mike, you, Kurama, Tai, me. I have no words. I'm not smart enough. I'm just a cow, but I love you in a way that is unique. It is just us, this love. Because you're Sylvie and I'm Mike. And together we are complementary. We don't need words. Yes, and that's why I want to wait. I'm afraid that once we've done it, I'll want to die. Because your life will be complete? Mike asked. Because I think you are the lover I've been searching for. When I've found you and given you all of me, I won't have anything left to give you, and I'll be worthless. No one is worthless, my darling, Mike said. But you understand, right? How I feel? You'll have me, but then there will be more for your life, but not me. I'll just wait here for you or Kurama to come back to me while you're off making the future. And that future's got nothing to do with me. Of course it does, Mike said. No, Mike, it really doesn't. I'm not someone who changes the world. I'm someone who nurtures children and is sexy, but I'm not smart or brave. That's where we're so very different. She wiped her eyes. You, Mike, you're a fighter. You're a protector and a visionary and a diplomat. I'm just a cow who fell in love with a king and then another king. I'm not special. You're special to me, Mike said. I know it, darling. But you'll leave. You have to. You'll come back once in a while, but you'll outlive me. 100 years, Mike and Kurama. I'll die sometime in my 70s, and my tits will sag down to my knees, and not even you will want me. But I'll be happy if I'm in your memories, as I am right now, still sexy, and reflected in your gorgeous eyes. She wept quietly. I'm sorry to bring you down like this, she said. Mike brushed away her tears. Tybalt can give you 100 years too. He can't, actually. He can give me 9 lives, and he has, but that isn't youth. Well, then Kurama can, but I'd have to pact with her and be under her power. None of us want that. I don't want to lose you, he said. Mike, you'll get a lifetime of Sylvia, and you've got all those immortal girls and your children. You'll never be lonely. He kissed her. I understand. We have time. Yes, we do, she said, and she closed her eyes and cradled his face to her bosom. Drink, my love. This milk is for you only. He drank her milk. She stroked his hair and sang love songs to him, and they both wept. There were no words. She gave herself to him, and he accepted gratefully. It didn't taste any different, really, but it came directly from her to him. This was a part of a cow's love. It was something she alone, of all his women, could give him. It was like no sexual or romantic bonding Mike could have imagined. Her love nourished him and gave him strength. He was gentle, not demanding. There was no love song ever written about this. Her very own milk feeding her love. Such as I have, give I to you, she said after a moment of quiet while she caught her breath. Mike released her nipple. Thank you, he said, wiping the tears from her eyes. She wiped his tears and mingled them on his hand. You're welcome, darling. You realize you were paraphrasing from the Bible just then? Mike asked. Good catch. I enjoy the poetry of religious texts. I seek out beauty, since I can't create any. Not really. Tybalt walked in. Hey, gang, we've got work to do, and Mike has a big night with Borgia. He blinked. Why did you have your shirt pulled up? Were you going to third base already? You know it, babe. Wait, Tybalt said. I see that fuck me look in your eyes. You two had a serious heart-to-heart bonding moment without me. Tybalt glared at the ceiling. What the hell? I always miss them. He stepped forward with his arms outstretched. Here, Mike, I'm going to hold you and tell you I believe in you, okay? Tybalt climbed over the bed to hug Mike as Sylvia pulled her blouse down. Mike, I believe in you. I believe in that brighter tomorrow, he said, and he rubbed his cheek on him, purring. Mike reached up to scratch Tybalt's ears. Thanks, Ty. It means a lot, Mike said. I'm too late, huh? The moment passed and it's not happening, Tybalt said. Sorry, Ty, Mike said. Okay, let me tell you about Roy. You never met him, but you're named after him. Your middle name, I mean, Tybalt said, scrambling to make a connection. Roy was good, like you, but he got selfish and grasping. Did he become a changeling too? Mike asked. Yeah, but he wasn't the man you are, not by a margin. Tell me more, Ty. Okay, he took bribes and sold out the Tengu. He betrayed Kurama for a Naga. She was a noble of some kind, but not a princess, not like Kurama claims. She was a climber. When Kurama learned about his treachery, she ate his eyes. Right, to learn what he had told the Naga so she could respond and save the eggs. What eggs? His own eggs, Mike. He sold Kurama's unhatched young to be eaten by snakes. I'm named after that? Mike sat up. Tybalt pulled him back down, and he and his queen held Mike. Mike, your mother never knew what happened. She thought he died a hero at Granada saving the lives of U.S. Marines, Sylvia said. She wanted you to be a hero too, and you are. Right. She killed the Naga thief, but the battle destroyed her eggs. It broke her, Mike. You saved her soul, bro. You're what kept her from becoming a vengeance-consumed madwoman. You exceeded all our expectations. We are so proud of you, Tybalt said. Do you understand, bro? We all love you. You brought our beloved back from the dark side, simply by being you. You fed that injured crow, and she knew you were the culmination. You were the answer to our prayers. But I suffered so much. I was dying of loneliness. You knew too? It broke my heart. But now here we are, Sylvia said. Pain can weigh us down, but it did not break you. You are so very strong, darling. I can never be so strong as you, she added. She and Whisper told us everything. We wanted to make you ours, take you in, heal Mr. Bojangles. But she insisted. When you were kind to the wounded crow on that day, when lesser men would have been consumed by their misery, we knew it was the right time, And you were the right man, Tybalt said. You could have healed my cat, Mike said coldly. Whoa, I know where this is going, Tybalt said. Stop right there. Right now. Stop. Mike, darling, we wanted to heal him. We could not. We can't do miracles, Mike. Magic has limits, and sadly, feline leukemia is outside those limits, Tybalt said. Okay, Mike said. Do you still love us? Tybalt asked. Yes, I still love you. They hugged Mike close between them. Your home is right here in my arms, Sylvia said. We are your family, Mike. Those beings who share your genetic material, they didn't choose you. We did. We chose you, and we will always want you. We'll keep you too, Tybalt said. Wait, you didn't say humans or people. You said beings. Mike stared at Sylvia. You're part Fae, too, from the old country, she admitted. Which old country? What Fae? Ireland, the she, Tybalt said. You're descended from a bastard Ged of Grimalkin. Who? Ketchi. Sorry, still no idea. You're part cat fairy nobility. Kinda like Irish Necogin. How much? Enough that the Tengu in you can't overpower the Ketchi in you, or change your personality, Tybalt said. Enough that your spirit and mine will always be free, no matter what happens to your body, Sylvia added. So I have two different kinds of noble blood from the spirit world in me? Mike asked. Right. You couldn't be the king of crows without a certain minimum amount. So here you are, Crow King Mike, Tybalt said. Are we at war with the Naga? No, Mike. That was treated as personal. Kurama got vengeance and declared the feud over. The Naga considered they as a whole had gotten off easy and accepted it, Tybalt said. But they have not signed a treaty with us. No. Add diplomacy with Naga to my to-do list. I will not have any Tengu eggs eaten by snakes, Mike said. Can I get up now? I have to poop. They released him. He took longer than he strictly needed. He needed to cry alone. His uncle sold out his own offspring to be eaten by snake yokai. Kurama had tried to save the eggs, but had broken them by accident. It was so much to process. Madame Borgia walked through the wall. Go away, Borgia. I need privacy, Mike said. I will in a minute, Mike, she said. I need to say this first. When I'm hard on you, and I won't stop, it's because I care. I want you to be your best. Fight until you're hamburger. Win at all cost. Yes? Mike nodded. See you around. Nice boxers. They were just a paisley pattern, but whatever. Mike sobbed. No, not at all cost. Some prices were not his to pay, could never be paid. One of them was his progeny. Nothing was worth losing them. He'd gone through too much for them. He gave the toilet another flush. He wiped washed up, and looked into the mirror. "You're the best of the Jackson men. You, Mike Marshall," he said. He was no angel, but his conscience was clean enough. He nodded his reflection. "Stay the course, Mike," he said. He rejoined Tybalt and Sylvia, who were dressed for the day. "Go get dressed, Mike," Tybalt said. "Dressed for what?" he asked. "Dressed for going out into public, like us," Sylvia said. He nodded, and Mike hurried to the attic to change. "Why do you have panties in your suitcase?" Madame Borgia asked from a sunny place on his bed. "They're a gift from a woman I love," he replied. "You collect them?" "Not by choice. They keep giving them to me." The cat let out a feline chuckle. "People make assumptions about us," she said. "See you. Please leave my things undisturbed," he said. "Well, since you asked," she replied. "I ask, madame. Thank you." Mike went down to rejoin Tybalt and Sylvia, who were cuddling on a massive rocking chair that he had never seen before. "Looking good, Mike," Tybalt said. They climbed into the family SUV and left the suburbs. "I forgot to ask what we were going to do," Mike said. "We're going to temple. We need to commune with the gods," Tybalt said. "Why?" "I try not to bother them," Mike asked. "Well, we're god botherers, and you're with us," Sylvia joked. Mike wanted to run his fingers through her hair, her thick, fawn-colored hair. He sat back in his chair as rock music played, however. When they got to the temple, Mike was confused. He saw statues and iconography of many religions and pantheons. "It's an amalgamated temple, Mike. It's okay. Nowadays the gods get along," Tybalt explained. "So who do you pray to?" Mike asked. "The goddess of mercy," Tybalt said. "Hathor," Sylvia said. "Ah." He saw a statue of Amaterasu. "I guess this is my stop," he said. "The Sun Empress? I would have picked you for a Shiva worshipper, what's with your legendary sex drive," Sylvia remarked. "The woman tempted me," he said. "It's just, I'm Tengu type now, and I've met her, so I guess I'm hers." "Mike, you aren't a god's. They're yours. That's how that works." "That's not what I was taught. Even Father Abraham chose Yahweh." "Whoa, you're right." "Yeah, I'm smart about some things," she agreed. Mike looked around. "I guess I need to give this more thought," he said. "Come on, we'll handle our prayers and let you shop around," Tybalt said. Mike wasn't convinced he wanted a god. He already had Fushin. Sure, he never prayed to her, and she was a kami, not a big G god, but she was his and he was hers. And he had Hildy, even though absolutely no one worshipped her anymore. Tybalt led them to a statue of a tall, elegant Japanese woman wearing a flowing dress and holding her hand up in a pose that looked to Mike like she was waving to a friend on the other side of the room. "Kanon, I thank you for all the good in my life. I love my wife and my family. I'm grateful for Mike, even though I'm going to work him hard and be mean while he's in training. Please bless him to be the best king he can be," Tybalt said, and then bowed his head in silence for a time, perhaps entering the private segment of his devotions. Tybalt clapped and looked at Mike with a smile. "Goddess of Mercy's great," he said. Mike nodded, but said nothing. Sylvia led the way next. Mike looked around. Both thin and fat Buddhas, the seven lucky gods, Shiva, Kali, Durga, Odin, Thor, Zeus, on and on. Gods he recognized, gods he didn't. Whoa, whoa, is that Satan? He asked, stopping. No, that's Pan. He's pretty cool, but he abandoned this world, Tybalt said. Is that a Kappa god? Mike asked. Hmm, seems to be. Don't know his name, Sylvia remarked, and they walked on. There she is. Hathor, Sylvia said affectionately. The statue portrayed a bare chested woman wearing an Egyptian kilt with the head of a cow. Mike understood. Sylvia put a coin into a vending machine and turned the crank. Wheat grains poured into her hand. Accept this offering with my thanks, Hathor, Sylvia said, and poured the wheat into a bowl at the statue's feet. She reached up to rub one pendulous breast on the statue, and then raised her hands to pray. I'm grateful for how comfortable and prosperity that my family enjoys. I'm grateful for how happy I am. Bless me that my milk remains plentiful, and that those I love will know in their hearts how much I value them. Please bless Mike to temper his raging libido so that he can wait until I feel ready to make love to him. By the time she finished, the grain was gone. Sylvia looked at her men. I feel very good now, she said. Have you picked a god yet? Want to look around? Tybalt asked. Actually, Ty, I've been an atheist for a while now, even though I was raised Christian. Really, I have two goddesses in my life already, Fushin and Hildy. I don't worship them, but we love each other. That's all I really want, Mike said. Okay, Sylvia seemed disappointed. Sylvie, I can see something's troubling you, Mike said. I don't want to talk about it in front of her, she said, and she walked back toward the SUV. Mike followed, perplexed. When they got to a concession stand, Sylvia looked at him again. She was silent as she regarded him. Is now a good time? He asked. I used Hathor as an excuse. I really just wanted to try and find the words. I can't, so I was hoping you'd read my emotions and know. Sorry, I can't do that, Mike said. I know, darling. Let me try, Tybalt said. I know my wife. Sylvia nodded, and Mike shrugged, amused by this turn of events. Sylvia's very sensitive about afterlife stuff. If you're an atheist, you'll just be dead at the end. No afterlife. Mike nodded. Sylvie wants to be with you in the afterlife, Tybalt added. Sylvia nodded. Okay then, Mike said. I'll pick something. Sylvia nodded sadly. What? I'm doing what you want, Mike said. Mike, I want this to be important to you too, Sylvia said. If it wasn't important, I'd just start rubbing on Hathor's tits. Sylvie giggled. Talk to the owl about it tonight. He's very knowledgeable about theology. Mike nodded. I haven't seen him around yet. He arrived late, and he has a private compartment so he can have peace and quiet during the day, Sylvia explained. So what is he? He's a Turkish massage owl. So is he from Turkey? I don't know. They went back home. Mike already thought of their house as home. How come I never see you doing king stuff? Mike asked. I'm the king of cats. I'm just here to distract the other kings so that they leave my people alone. Cats don't give a shit about government. They're all anarchists, really, Tybalt said. So the Nekojin pay you to keep other kings from trying to boss them around? and to not try to boss them around. It's a pretty sweet gig. You're living the fucking dream, Mike admired. Yep, life is sweet. I don't have to do a damn thing except love my family and basically talk to kings. Tybalt walked to the backyard and Mike followed, unsure what he should do. Sylvia busied herself in the kitchen, and Madame Borgia began to follow after them. Tybalt said nothing, just kept walking. Mike was unfamiliar with a quiet Tybalt, who normally shut his mouth only rarely. He walked straight to the hedge in the rear. Through here, Mike, Tybalt said, and he waved to the hedge. Mike closed his eyes and tried to walk through. Branches poked him in the face. Tybalt chuckled. I see what you were thinking, but you gotta move the branches out of your way. Mike parted them to find a door. Open it, bro. The obstacle course is on the other side, Tybalt said. Aren't you coming with? Mike asked. Nah, this time it's you and Borgia. I got roofing to do before any snow comes. Will it snow here? Of course. Since his injured knee had been healed by Kurama's magic, winter weather shouldn't bother him anymore. Still, the remembered ache made him apprehensive. He pushed the door open, and found himself in a very different place. Springtime sun, clouds, flowers, butterflies, and an obstacle course. Great wooden constructs, the obligatory cargo net, a running track made of packed dirt, and what appeared to be hand-powered steamroller apparatus. Like it? Madame Borgia asked. I guess. Will I have to pull or push those big concrete roller things? Oh, yeah, you'll love those. Until King Tai upgrades you to iron, the calico replied. How strong does he think I'll get? Mike, you're a changeling being fed cow yokai milk. You'll become supernaturally strong. Didn't the Tengu make you do things not humanly possible? Have you realized how high you can jump? Mike went silent and thoughtful. Very well. First, I want you to jump to the top of that wall. No climbing, only jumping, she said, and she trotted to the wall with a cargo net. By the end, you won't need the net, she assured him, and then began grooming herself. He thought back to being nursed by Sylvia. He hadn't been hungry all morning. There must be magic in her milk. He stared at the wall. I said jump, damn your eyes! Madame Bourget yowled. Mike bent his knees, swung his arms, and hopped up to grab the net. He jumped higher than he ever had without magic. He squatted now, feeling the netting sag so that he could get the most traction. And this time, pulled with his arms at the same time, he kicked up. 4 jumps, and he was at the top. He surveyed this realm Tybalt had made. A yellow butterfly fluttered and landed on his hair. Whisper loves you, Mike, the butterfly said. I love her too, butterfly, he replied softly, and then he began to climb down. I said only jumping, no climbing, you misbegotten ape, Borgia screamed. Well, how was he supposed to do that? Controlled falling? He opted to push away from the cargo net and then catch himself after dropping a bit. 9 drops, and he was down. Where are your wings now? Borgia asked. I didn't try to use them, Mike confessed. Next time, do so. We need to develop your talents. All of them, she scolded. I have another talent, Mike said. That one has nothing to do with me, she said with a sniff. Back up, King Mike. Up he went again, and this time he glided down on his wings that were not always present, yet somehow were very real. He was breathing heavily and sweating now. Now you may pull a roller to rest, Borgia said. Mike groaned, wiped the sweat out of his eyes. I'm wearing a polo shirt and blue jeans. These aren't ideal workout clothes. No, they aren't. Get moving. Mike strained, but he could not make the thing budge. You can do it. Steady now. Mike took a deep breath and pushed. The frame in his hands began to tremble, and then the concrete cylinder began to roll. Once momentum was in his favor, it was easier, but not restful. He panted and his heart pounded in his head with the strange. I'm doing this for my family and my people, he urged himself, inching toward the running track. Mike understood how the dirt track stayed flat now. Stop now! Leave the roller and let's go back, Borgia meowed. I thought Sylvia was doing my strength training and you and Tybalt were doing my fighting training, Mike asked. Don't worry about who does what. We're all doing our part, the cat replied. The door, Mike saw, was suspended in the air with nothing to hold it. You would have to learn more about realms. Tengu Mountain was like that too. He opened the door, pulling on a ring, and waved Madame Borgia ahead of him. The cat hopped through with her tail low. Mike followed. It was now evening, and Mike was quite ravenous. They walked back to the house, but Madame dashed away after something. Mike headed directly to the master bathroom for a shower. He listened at the door. No water running, so he went in, pulling his polo shirt over his head as he walked. An unfamiliar voice squeaked as she shut the door. A tall, buxom, nude woman with horns and hair in a distinctly white and black pattern like that of a Holstein cow was toweling her thigh, which was resting on the toilet and giving him a view that, yes, the top and bottom matched. She froze. Mike froze. He stammered an apology and turned away. I'll leave you when you're ready for me to open the door, he said. Please just go now, she whispered. He hurried out and closed the door without looking again. He knew there had to be another shower in this place. Kylie stopped in the hall. We must stop meeting like this, she teased, poking at his bare chest. Where's the other shower? He asked, smiling. Just a bath and that shower, Kylie said. Sounds like Karen's done if you can wait, she added. He began to blush. Yeah, Karen's out of the shower, Mike said. I wanted to give her time to avoid me before dinner. Ooh, did you think she was Mom and try to join her? No, I just entered the bathroom at a bad time. Well, she's got her crap over in my room, so it ain't safe there. Wait in Mom and Dad's room. Your room ain't safe anyway. Mike teased, and he headed to the master bedroom. He knocked on the closed door, waited, and then entered. It was not inhabited. Karen came back to mind. Her hair was fascinating. How did that work? And yes, her body was delectable. Still, they were strangers, and the only reason he'd seen her naked was because he hadn't had the decency to knock. Sat down on that huge rocking chair, holding his shirt. He'd wait a bit, then grabbed clean clothes from the attic. He felt they had given Karen enough time, and so he went upstairs. He changed out of his sweaty clothes and put them into his mesh laundry bag. He saw that Whisper had packed him a flannel bathrobe, so he put it on and carried his clean clothes with him to the shower. This time he knocked. Safe. He went in and checked for a lock. No lock. Well, that explained things. He set his clothes down on the counter in a neat pile and draped his bathrobe over the towel rack. There was still hot water, and it was just what Mike needed. He used some shampoo that he found in the shower, something fruity smelling and girly, but he hadn't brought any of his own, and he felt a bit rude for the oversight, but no harm, surely. He was family. It was doing him no favors to have seen Karen naked. She wasn't as plump as her mother, but she was nearly as busty. Oh, and Sylvia wanted to wait. It was maddening how the image refused to leave his mind. Jerking it in the shower would have been more rude than using the shampoo without asking. He'd ask Hildy to help with that in his dreams. Wet dreams weren't great, but the man needed relief somehow, especially going from getting as much sex as he had been getting to stone cold zero so abruptly. He'd expected that he and Sylvia would be doing it nightly at least, even the occasional three-way with Ty, since they were such good pals. And instead, nothing. He refused to consider Kylie's offer. Yokai or no, a high school student was off limits to him. Karen was in college. No. He told himself she was also off limits. Kurama had offered him to Sylvia's daughters the first time that he'd been here. He hadn't been her husband then, just a servant. Still, she didn't tell him anything had changed regarding Tybalt's household. It was not as if she could poof here to keep him company. He was miles away. Besides, Karen might not want anything to do with him, especially after their first meeting, right? Right. So, it was best to consider her off limits and not have any hopes of betting her. He switched to cold water. The cold water made him think of Lilia, but at least it killed his boner. Soon, all thought of sex was banished by the cold water. Mike returned to the attic, dressed, then put on his gi and carrying his bathrobe. He was feeling much better. The attic bedroom felt like home. He saw the owl, the Turkish Massage Owl. "Hello," he said. "Shh, I'm still waking up," the owl replied, blinking. "I'm Mike," Mike whispered. "Attila," the owl replied. "Are you Turkish?" Mike asked. "No, I'm American, but I'm trained in Turkish massage. When I grip you, you know you have been gripped." "But the talons," Mike argued. "Aren't you king of Tengu? My talons surely won't hurt your hardened body." He still got hurt last time he had sparred with Shizu, but his wings worked more now. Maybe his skin was tougher too? "Please perform a test, Attila," Mike asked, pulling up his sleeve and holding his arm next to the owl's perch. Attila stepped up on his arm and gripped. That owl's feet were strong. His talons did not puncture his skin, however. The pressure steadily increased, and it hurt, but still no punctures. Attila hooted and returned to his perch on the desk chair. Mike thanked him. Attila looked at the stairs. "Someone is sneaking upstairs," he said. Mike looked and saw Karen's hair and her horns. She stood at the top stair and looked at Mike.
Hello, Karen. Please come in, Mike said. This is Attila. She nodded. So, King Mike, I want you to know that I forgive you. My dumb parents won't put a lock on that door, and you behaved like a gentleman. I'm so sorry. I should have knocked, even though I didn't hear the water running, Mike replied. It's okay, really. Mom tells me you're family. Thanks for being cool about it. I was prepared for you to hate me. It was an accident, she said and smiled. So, do you work with Jeff too? Mike asked. Of course. He's our dairy technician. He has a part time assistant, but her manners need work. She always compliments our boobs. Mike nodded. I can see how that is unprofessional. Right? We're already in a compromised position, still getting to know a person, but we're there to get business taken care of, Karen said. Can I ask a question? Sure, King Mike. Just Mike, please. We're family. Why is it important to not mingle the milk? She leaned on the banister while she thought it over. Good question. I think that since it's your own milk, we want to be sure that what we give to our friends and loved ones is ours only, a gift of ourselves. Or maybe it's a way to separate us from farm cows. Not that there's anything wrong with farm girls, just we do it in a different way as city girls. We don't sell it. You can buy yokai milk? Sure, why not? Mike nodded. You like it, huh? Americans love milk. I want you to try mine. My milk is very creamy, and my mom's is more. She paused and then blushed. I don't mean to presume on our friendship, Mike, she said. Please, I don't understand what could be wrong. I'd be happy to drink your milk. She walked over and sat on his bed. This was my bed as a girl, she said, and smiling at it. I carved a daisy into this post. She pointed it out. Thanks for showing me. I like it, Mike said. Mike, you're a nice guy. Mom loves you, and Ty, too. He waited for her to continue. Karen smiled. I would like to share my milk with you. It is a growing closer and a sign of our friendship. My mom's milk is sweeter than mine, but it's very good. I'd like that, Mike said, and then Karen gave him a hug. My family loves you, and from what I've heard and seen, we'll get along just great. Can I ask about your father? Mike asked, holding her. Rondo? He died when I was a baby. Anthrax. So your mom raised you alone? Yeah, but only for a while. I don't remember those days. Just living in this house with Ty and my sibbies. She let him go. Your hugs are really nice, she said. Mike, are you in love with my mom? So many men are. Yeah, we're taking it slow, though. She gasped. Wah! That doesn't happen. Mike nodded. Yeah, no yokai woman who wants me stops herself from taking me. If I consent, I mean. She scrutinized him. How many concubines? She asked. A tengu and a panda. A panda? Wow, you're really something. A panda? When you could have a neko or a cow or kitsune. They're the sexy ones. Heck, even a dog yokai, but a panda? She covered her mouth. Forgive me. I'm a silly cow. You're not silly, Mike said. And being a cow doesn't make you stupid or not serious. You made a good point. Pandas are not sexy. May loves me, and she's loyal and brave. She's the mother of my son. You really are something, she repeated. I can see why Mom loves you. You'll be a good influence on the Tengu. So arrogant, cold,